Hello friends, welcome back to our channel NEET Biology Expert. In this lecture series, we are studying Class 12 Biology, Chapter Human Reproduction. In this particular lesson, we are going to study about hormonal control of spermatogenesis. So, in our previous lesson, we studied in detail about spermatogenesis. What is spermatogenesis? The formation of sperm and the steps involved in the formation of the sperm is called spermatogenesis, right? So here we have to know in detail about what are the hormones they involved in the spermatogenesis process. Because if you appear for the NEET examination, many questions will come in the spermatogenesis and also particularly about the hormonal control. Okay, so we have to study in detail about the hormonal control of spermatogenesis, right? So let's first know about what are hormones. Hormones are chemical signaling molecules. Have you ever thought how the cells talk with each other or how organs communicate with each other? It's by the means of hormones or particularly through chemical signals, right? So the hormones are produced by endocrine glands. These endocrine glands, we call them as ductless gland. What is ductless gland? They release the hormone directly in the bloodstream. So one organ, if it wants to communicate some information to another organ, they release some hormone which is specific for that organ and they release it in the bloodstream. Then that particular recipient will have on its cell a structure called receptor. Okay, this is the receptor on every cell for a particular hormone. So when the hormone which is getting released in the blood, when it comes near the receptor, it gets fixed on this receptor accurately. Then it passes its signal to the cell. Then the cell reacts accordingly. So like this, every cell has a receptor, particularly if it is a hormone receiving cell, it has a receptor on its surface, right? Okay. So here we are studying about spermatogenesis, right? So when the spermatogenesis hormonal production starts, it starts at the onset of puberty. For example, for the boy, it is at the age of 11 to 12 years. Okay. So before that, what happens? See, we have seen the spermatogenesis where if this is the okay, these are the germ cells, primordial germ cells in the seminiferous tubules. Okay, they are formed during whenever the embryo is developed. These primordial germ cells are formed, they reach the gonads and they remain silently in the gonad until the boy reaches puberty. Fine. When the boy reaches puberty, that means at the age of 11 to 12 years, and for some people it will take 13 to 14 years, the hormonal production starts and these primordial germ cells get activated and from them the active sperms will be produced. Okay, this is the basic process. Okay, so what happens during puberty? During puberty, there will be rapid physical growth and psychological changes which occurs in the boy, which results in the culminating sexual maturity. So during puberty, there will be rapid physical growth in his external structure. So he will develop muscle mass and the chest will be broad. He will grow taller and beard will be there. Mustache will start appearing. Small hairs will be there. Pubic hair, axillary hair, all this external secondary sexual character starts appearing. Also, the boy will have that attraction towards the opposite sex. It will start to appear. Okay, all these changes are largely influenced by hormonal activity. It is a normal behavior in an adolescent period. Okay, when we are studying about the normal hormonal activity of the spermatogenesis, we have to know some parts which is involved in this process. Okay, the first one is the brain, because all the hormonal control mostly comes from the brain in the spermatogenesis. The first region in the brain is the hypothalamus. This part, this V-shaped structure in the brain is called hypothalamus. Okay, just Beneath the hypothalamus, there is another region called pituitary gland. So this hypothalamus and pituitary gland, they start this spermatogenesis process. Okay. So this is the enlarged picture of the structure where we could see this V-shaped structure of the brain part is the hypothalamus, and beneath the hypothalamus there are two regions. Okay. These are the pituitary gland. The front part is called the anterior pituitary and the back side is called posterior pituitary. This anterior pituitary plays a major role in spermatogenesis. Okay, fine. The next region where this hormones is going to reach, they are going to reach the testis, right? So this is a testis cross section where we could see this tubules. These tubules are called seminiferous tubules. In this seminiferous tubules only the primordial germ cells are there. So those hormones released by the pituitary and anterior hypothalamus has to reach the testis and get activated here. Okay. Then inside the testis, seminiferous tubules, if you take a cross section, the structure will be like this. So this is the primordial germ cell area, and these large cells are the Sertoli cells. Okay. So what are Sertoli cells? They are called nursing cells because they give nutrition to the growing spermatozoa. Okay. And these are all the developing spermatozoa, different stages, primary, secondary, like this. And surrounding this are the Leydig cells. So see here, this is the center part which is called lumen, and here the head of the sperm are embedded in the Sertoli cells. So these structures we should know to better know about the hormonal activation. Okay. Now this structure, see here, in between the two seminiferous tubules we have some space. This space is called interstitial space, and there are some certain type of cells in these spaces. These cells are called Leydig cells. Leydig cells. Okay. Leydig cells also called as interstitial cells. Interstitial cells. Why they are called interstitial cells? Because they are present in the interstitial region. Okay. So just remember all these steps, all these structures, and let's get started about the hormonal control. Okay. So the first one, the hypothalamus, when the boy attains puberty, that is around 11 to 12 years of his age, hypothalamus start secreting a hormone called gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Okay, the first hormone released from the hypothalamus is gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Where it goes? It directly goes beneath the hypothalamus where the anterior pituitary gland is present and activates the anterior pituitary. So as a result, anterior pituitary secretes two types of different hormone called follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These two hormones are called gonadotrophins. What is gonadotrophins? Gonadotrophins are the hormones which go and activate the gonads. What is gonad? Gonad is the sex organ. Okay, here the male reproductive organ is the testis. So this gonadotrophin is going to act on the testis. So there are two types of gonadotrophin released by the anterior pituitary: follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Okay, right. So let's first study about follicle stimulating hormone. This follicle stimulating hormone directly mixes with the blood and comes to testis of the boy. This box, okay, this box we call now as testis. So here inside the testis, what is present? Sertoli cells, that is the nursing cell. Okay, so this follicle stimulating hormone directly come and it acts on the Sertoli cell. It induces the Sertoli cells. Okay, once the follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the Sertoli cells, what happens? It starts its function actively. Okay, the first function is it stimulates the testicular growth. So far the boy was baby till 11 years. Okay, his testicle size will be small. Now the hormone is generated, so it will start growing in size. So the testicular development will occur slowly. Second one, the Sertoli cells will enhances the production of androgen binding protein. ABP means androgen binding protein. Androgen binding protein. Okay. C. Inside the Sertoli cells, there are some structure called androgen binding protein receptors. So here in this receptor, what is going to come and bind? Androgen is going to come and bind. So the Sertoli cells produces or gets ready with its androgen binding protein. Okay. And third one, it does spermatogenesis, because surrounding the Sertoli cells only the developing sperms are there. So it gives nourishment, nutrition to the sperm cell and helps for its maturation. Okay. And fourth one is spermiogenesis. What is spermiogenesis? Conversion or the maturation of the sperm from the spermatid is called spermiogenesis. So during spermiogenesis only the sperm will have the acrosome, the tail part, everything will be completed. Okay, so those things will also occur. So for all these things to occur, which is with the help of the Sertoli cells, follicle stimulating hormone is important. Okay, so this is the first hormone and its function. The second hormone is the luteinizing hormone. The luteinizing hormone released from the anterior pituitary, they go straightly and activate Leydig cells. So where is Leydig cells present? It is present in the interstitial space. So we call Leydig cell as interstitial cells. Okay. And once activated by the luteinizing hormone, the Leydig cell produce the hormone testosterone. In particular, it produces the male hormone androgen. Andro means male. Gen means generating. The hormone for the male characteristic is the androgen. Okay. So testosterone, that means one example for testosterone is androgen produced by Leydig cells. So what is the function of the androgen? First, it goes straightly and stimulate the Sertoli cell. Okay, because androgen is needed for the spermatogenesis. Okay, and second one, it gets released out in the blood, and that androgen is essential for the development of secondary sexual characteristics of the boy. That means formation of the beard or formation of the mustache, axillary pubic hair, muscle mass, like this growth development. Okay, so for this androgen is essential. Understand? Fine. So here see, this androgen is straightly going and also it acts on the Sertoli cells. Okay. So here this follicle stimulating hormone is also called as FSH. Luteinizing hormone is also called as LH. Gonadotrophin releasing hormone is also called as GnRH. These short forms you should know. Okay. Fine. Let's understand the hormonal control of spermatogenesis using this picture. Okay. See, this is a boy who is having a hypothalamus region here in his brain. Okay. So when he attains puberty around 11 to 12 years, during that time this hypothalamus, it gets activated and it secretes the first hormone, gonadotrophin releasing hormone. This gonadotrophin releasing hormone secreted by the hypothalamus directly goes and acts on the pituitary gland, which is just beneath the hypothalamus. Okay, this is the enlarged picture of the pituitary gland. In the anterior lobe of the pituitary, it acts and it induces the first hormone production, follicle stimulating hormone. This FSH is produced by anterior pituitary. It gets released and directly it comes and activates Sertoli cells. Okay, these big cells are the Sertoli cells. Follicle stimulating hormone activates Sertoli cells. See here, in the pituitary it is produced. Okay, so it mixes with the blood and directly comes to his testes. Okay, and acts on the Sertoli cell. Second one, luteinizing hormone. So similarly, luteinizing hormone produced directly mixed with the blood and comes to his both testes, and it acts on the Leydig cells, so that Leydig cells produce testosterone. Understand? So like this through mixing with the blood, because these are ductless glands, the hormone works. Fine. Right. So here we have to understand another concept called negative feedback control of spermatogenesis. See, whenever any hormone is produced, when it reaches some saturation point, then its production should be stopped. Otherwise, unnecessarily waste of energy, and also it will lead to many negative effects. Okay, so in order to stop that, what happens? Negative feedback mechanism works. Okay, so what is negative feedback mechanism? See, these hormones are produced and they are doing some function. Okay, so when the function is achieved at a certain period of time, the cell gives signals to stop the hormonal production, because hormones only induce the cells, no? So it says, okay, stop, enough, production is okay, enough, we will stop it for a while and then we will start again. So like this, the cell gives some signal. This signal is called negative feedback, right? Okay, so let's go to the first negative feedback. Here we have seen hypothalamus release gonadotrophin, which acts on anterior pituitary and which produce follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone acts on Sertoli cells. So when the sperm production is done, enough production is done for a period of time, then the Sertoli cells wants to stop the production furthermore. Okay, so it releases a hormone called inhibin. This is important. Inhibin is secreted by Sertoli cells. So what this inhibin does? Again, this Sertoli cell release the inhibin in the blood. Okay, this inhibin goes straightly and it acts on follicle stimulating hormone and also in the anterior pituitary. It gives the signal to stop this pathway, to stop inducing the Sertoli cell. Okay, so inhibin stops follicle stimulating hormone and anterior pituitary. This is a negative feedback mechanism. Understand? Similarly, we have testosterone hormone. So testosterone hormone is produced. So whenever sufficient amount of testosterone is present in the blood and also in the testes, okay, now the body wants to stop the production of testosterone for some period of time. So it will give signal. Here the testosterone negative feedback is given by the testosterone itself. See here. Here Sertoli cell produce inhibin. Inhibin is only giving the signal. But in the case of testosterone, which is produced by the Leydig cells, the testosterone itself go and stop the signals from the anterior pituitary and also directly from the hypothalamus, that is in the central control. Okay, so this testosterone stops this so that this pathway gets terminated. So no more induction by hypothalamus to anterior pituitary, no more induction by luteinizing hormone to the Leydig cells, so that no more testosterone is produced once it reaches a saturation point. And whenever they need again, they will stop the signaling and again all this process will be repeated. Understand? Okay. So here the testosterone hormone level in the body will be less. For example, the testosterone level in the testis should be 50 to 100% more than the testosterone in the body. Okay. Why? Because testosterone is needed for spermatogenesis, for the testicular growth, for the spermiogenesis, for all this activity. So its concentration should be more than in the blood. Why testosterone is needed in the blood? Just for the secondary sexual character. Okay, so its level should be less and it should be more in the testis than the blood. Understand? So this is the negative feedback mechanism. Clear? Now let's revise all this with a short table. So if you compile like this all the information in a table and study, it will be very easy for you to remember in the exam point of view. So however the question will be twisted or state question, you could be able to answer very nicely. Okay, now look at this table. Here we have categorized as which hormone produced where, it acts on where, and what is the function. Okay, so the first hormone is gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Who is producing gonadotropin releasing hormone? Hypothalamus. Where it goes and acts, it acts on the anterior lobe of pituitary. What is the function? They stimulate follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Clear? This is the first hormone and its function. The second hormone is follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. Where it is produced in the anterior lobe of pituitary. Where it goes and acts, it acts on the Sertoli cell or nurse cell. And another name for nurse cell is suspendicular cell. Suspendicular cell. All these are same, guys, okay? Sertoli cell, nurse cell, suspendicular cell. And what is the function? It stimulates spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis in the Sertoli cell. Okay? And third hormone is luteinizing hormone. Where it is produced? Again in the anterior lobe of pituitary. Where it goes and acts, it acts on the Leydig cells or interstitial cell. What is the function? To stimulate testosterone secretion by Leydig cells. Fourth hormone is the testosterone, that is androgen. Where it is produced by the Leydig cells. Where it acts on the Sertoli cells and also in the human body. What is the function? To produce secondary sexual character and also to stimulate spermatogenesis. So these are the four important hormones for the spermatogenesis. And there are two hormones which involve in the negative feedback mechanism. You should know that too. Okay. So again, the first hormone is androgen. Where it is produced by Leydig cells. Where it acts on the anterior lobe of pituitary and also hypothalamus. So what is the function? To inhibit luteinizing hormone and gonadotropin releasing hormone production. Okay, because it is a negative feedback. Second one, inhibin is the name of the hormone. Where it is produced by Sertoli cells. Where it acts on the pituitary anterior lobe and sometime in the hypothalamus. So what is its function? To inhibit follicle stimulating hormone and gonadotropin releasing hormone. So these two hormones are the negative feedback controlling hormone. Clear? So if you write like this and study, it will be very easy for you. Okay. So I hope this lecture is clear for you. That is the hormonal control of the spermatogenesis. Okay. And our next lecture will be about structure of a sperm cell. If you like this lecture, please like, share and comment and subscribe to our channel NEET Biology Expert. Thank you.